Welcome back to my channel. I'm Heidi Vega, a certified holistic nutritionist and certified personal trainer. I bring you guys along my journey through recovery from disordered eating. I have been MIA for the last 4 weeks. Lately, I've been really into the practice of regulating my nervous system. So I have an alarm on my phone that will go off every about 4 to 5 hours. No, less. I think it's like every 4 hours about. That kind of is a reminder to check in with myself, see how I'm doing. Am I feeling like I'm regulated? Am I feeling and I've been noticing it even without the alarm now, more recently, that I'll check in with myself and be like, what is that tension that I'm feeling maybe in my neck, or I'm actually holding my jaw very tightly, things like that. And I'll try to understand what's going on in my surroundings, what's going on inside of me that is contributing to this feeling of tension, that then after all that's said and done, I come home and I find my release, or I find my coping strategies to come into play after the fact that I've maybe been carrying this with me all day long. That's kind of been where I've been at lately. I think a really important lesson thus far has been that every time that I heal something in the way that I'm going about my self-perception or the relationship I have to food and what that means about me and things like that. Every time I heal any parts of that, I find myself like confronted with another challenge that begs me to attend to a different aspect of it. So it might feel like, I'm always taking 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back. But I'm realizing now that a lot of the time I am taking 2 steps forward and then maybe 3 steps to the side, and then it's almost like I continue to say like, okay, I'm cleaning here, and then there's a spot over here that I have to attend to. So I go back over here, and like, instead of seeing it as a straight linear line, it's very much kind of all over the place. I've had moments where I've contemplated giving up on recovery in a sense, and maybe not giving up on recovery as much as it is pursuing weight loss again. When you do your switch around of like your clothes, so you go from, I do this because I don't have enough space in my closet for it, but I switch my clothes from like kind of the summer, spring clothing to my fall and winter clothing. And I just recently did that, and that brought up a lot of feelings for me. Seeing clothes that I used to be able to wear that was still in my closet or actually put away. So I actually took out everything because I still had a lot of summer clothes put away, knowing that they didn't fit me. It just brought up a lot of feelings for me, because as I looked through a lot of my smaller clothes, I couldn't help but feel some sadness, I think, because I was like, oh, but they're so cute. I don't want to get rid of them. Some clothes that I was like, you know what, I never felt good in this even back then, and those were easy ones to toss. And they also bring memories, with them. Clothing that you wore during a certain occasion or something like that, it brings up memories in you, especially like some of the smaller ones that I was like, oh, I felt really good wearing this. Like, I loved this dress or something. So it was bringing up a lot in me. It made me feel a lot of different feelings, and I went through them. I will say I still kept a certain amount that I felt that this is the thing that nobody really wants to talk about when it comes to recovery, because it can be very triggering, and you can easily slide down this like slippery slope of being like, oh, when I'm skinnier, this is, my life's gonna be great, or just kind of anticipating your smaller self. So I did keep a good amount of clothes that actually don't fit me right now, but it's because I genuinely believe that my weight does fluctuate some naturally, depending on the time of month and stuff like that. And I think right now the weight that I am holding on to is still not indicative of where my weight will naturally fall once I have further improved my relationship to food. So right now I haven't even thought about gentle nutrition or anything like that, really given it thought and intention. I have solely stuck to the quantity in terms of like allowing myself to eat whenever I'm hungry, eat however much that I am wanting, and checking in to make sure that want is coming from a healthy place, from a more intuitive place, I guess you could say. I've really been focused on the recovery aspect of the kind of the all-in idea, and less so on, the further parts, which is that gentle nutrition aspect to it. So I really haven't paid much attention to that. And because of that, I think that is further down the line. I do think that I will eventually get to a place where that doesn't trigger a response of a binge, as long as I'm not being restrictive in the sense that I am, I don't know, like the sense of before where I was restricting for weight loss, and not from a place of care and love, but more so from a place of hate and disgust and wanting so desperately to change. So like I get the sense that it's very likely that I will settle down to a smaller weight, not anywhere near what I maybe at one point was like, oh, I wish I could be that size or something like that, but just a smaller weight than I am now. I think a lot of the weight that I am carrying is still coming from a place of trying to recover and trying to be okay with me and where I'm at right now. So I don't want to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe if I am to settle back down into a weight that's more like weight that I've carried in the past when I have had a better relationship to food. It's always like a maybe, who knows? Maybe I just stay at this weight that I'm at now, but I genuinely like seeing how much it's cost me to have gained all this weight and then have to buy clothes that feel comfortable and fit me at this weight. I'm like, imagine spending that money again on smaller clothes, knowing that you still have those, like that size of clothes in your closet. I will say, if I could have started all over again, from month one, I think I would have given more time and attention to that nervous system regulating approach. And the reason why I say that is because, going all in and saying like no restrictions, I'm not going to restrict my food, obviously is super necessary, especially for the binge eating aspect, because that really did the trick. When I stopped trying to restrict, when I kind of took all of that away, the binging like went away so quickly. But then afterwards, I think that I didn't know what to do. I felt very lost in terms of like what direction I should take to now fix and heal that relationship that I have with food, that disordered eating that I still participate in. I didn't know how to handle it. Like, what do I do now? Like, yes, I went all in. Yes, now I eat whenever I'm hungry and I don't restrict. And now I don't binge eat. But I still find myself emotionally eating very often, and not in a satisfactory way. It's not like I feel great about myself afterwards, and it's not because I inherently am restricting. I mean, I was for a little there, mentally still restricting, but even after I got past the mental restriction aspect of it, there was still something there that I couldn't really put my finger on, that was kind of driving me to use food as a coping strategy. Like it's to cope. It was to cope, and I couldn't tell, like, what am I trying to cope for? Everything is fine. And if I would have given a little bit more intention to really healing that aspect of myself, I think I could have probably found myself at this place a lot sooner. I can feel like I am making progress, and it's not simply just like, well, just don't ever restrict and you won't have to binge eat and you'll be fine. Like, no, there's more there, because even when I have goals for myself about nutrition, that is triggering immediately, because it wakens something in me from when I was younger, and it suddenly sets me off. So like, if that's enough to set me off, I feel like there's still some work to be done going back. So that is about it in terms of updates thus far. Yeah, I've written down some in my notes, some of the material that I want to cover in the coming weeks, but this was just kind of an update since I've been MIA for 4 weeks. I figured I'd give you guys kind of like a recap of the last 4 weeks and how it's gone, and some of the things that the big takeaways, I guess, from the last 4 weeks. But these next upcoming videos are going to be a little bit more, what's the word? They're a little more structured. And yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one.